Welcome back to Press to Cook. The humble sponge cake. A light, airy delight that's perfect for all sorts of sweet and indulgent desserts. But when it comes to storing this delicate baked good, it's important to know the right techniques to keep it fresh and flavourful. In this video, we're diving into the best ways to refrigerate sponge cake so it maintains its moist, fluffy texture for days. Follow these tips and you'll be enjoying your homemade or store-bought sponge cakes without any unwanted dryness or staleness. First and foremost, let's talk about timing. According to food safety guidelines, freshly baked sponge cake can be stored in the refrigerator for 3 to 5 days. Any longer than that and you run the risk of the cake developing mould or an off-putting taste and texture. Before we move on, please drop me a like and let me know how we are doing in the comments. Now, when it comes to the actual storage method, your best bet is an airtight container or resealable plastic bag. This helps lock in moisture and prevent the delicate cake from drying out in the cool, dry environment of the fridge. Just be sure to let the cake cool completely before sealing it up. Speaking of cooling, that's a crucial first step. Putting a warm or hot sponge cake straight into the refrigerator can lead to unwanted condensation, which can make the cake soggy or cause it to develop mold. Give that cake at least 2 hours to reach room temperature before popping it in the fridge. As for where in the fridge you should store your sponge cake, the middle or upper shelves are generally the best spots. The temperature tends to be more consistent up there compared to the bottom shelf where it can get a bit colder. Avoid storing the cake on the door as the frequent opening and closing can cause temperature fluctuations. And while we're on the topic of temperature, it's important to note that sponge cake does best in the 40° F to 45° F range. Any colder and you risk the cake drying out or developing ice crystals. So be mindful of where you place it in your fridge. Now, when you're ready to enjoy that refrigerated sponge cake, be sure to take it out and let it sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes. This helps the texture and flavour come back to life before serving. And if you notice any signs of mould, off odours or extreme dryness, it's time to toss it. Better safe than sorry. With these storage tips in your back pocket, you can rest assured your sponge cakes will stay fresh, moist and ready to transform into all sorts of decadent desserts. Happy baking and eating, everyone. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more essential kitchen tips from Press to Cook.